Some of you may know this, some of you may not. This is for everyone who doesn't know this. This may or may not be true, but time is running out. So I have to tell you this. Listen, there was a tremendously brave man called Phil Schneider. Now, before I tell you what he said, I will first tell you what happened to him. In 1996, 666, the number of the devil, Phil Schneider was found dead in his hotel room. He had a medical hose wrapped 3 times around his neck, and his body showed signs that he was tortured before he was killed. Phil Schneider was a retired military engineer, geologist, and contractor with above top secret military clearance. He gave a series of public interviews in 1995 warning people about what he knew happened and would happen. He said that he was working with the military for decades, building deep underground bases, using special technology that ordinary people don't possess. He was told these bases were for protection against nuclear war, but he later realized it was a lie. These deep secret underground bases were built and located all over the earth and were connected together by secret deep underground tunnel systems. They use a special underground magnetic levitation train that can reach any single one of these bases all across the earth. He said these bases began to be built sometime in the 1940s and are still being built today. They are built non-stop, 24 hours a day, with small breaks in between. In 1978-1979, Phil Schneider was digging for a base in Dulce. They opened a hole in the ground, but it was dark, and the giant drilling machine kept breaking over and over. So they attached a basket and lowered Phil Schneider with a flashlight down to check the location out. Phil Schneider had a Wild West style revolver with him, one of the best guns ever made. Once underground, he shined his flashlight and saw a 7-foot tall, lizard-like creature. He immediately took out his revolver and shot the creature. The creature fired a plasma energy weapon at Phil Schneider, which blew off two or three fingers on his left or right hand, blew a hole in his stomach, and gave him cancer. Phil Schneider shot the creature several more times and managed to kill it. Phil Schneider wandered through the underground cave and said he saw chambers with human and non-human body parts in bowls of blood like a soup. At that point, more creatures came, and then suddenly groups of underground armed human soldiers like the Green Berets, Delta Force, and others came to his rescue. One of the soldiers risks his life to save Phil Schneider. The soldier took Phil Schneider and put him back in the basket, and then Phil Schneider was pulled up back to the surface. A dozen human soldiers lost their lives that fateful day. Phil Schneider said that there are a total of 9 alien races, and that most of them are malevolent. He didn't know that they are actually demons. He thought that they were aliens. He said that the US government had made 3 separate treaties with these aliens. The first one was in the 1930s. The second one was in the 1940s. And the third one was in the 1950s. They made a deal with these creatures. The deal was that the aliens would give the US some of their advanced technology, and in return, the US would allow the aliens to abduct as many people as they wanted. That is where all of the alien abductions came from. Phil Schneider said that the private sector has technology that is 1,200 years more advanced than anything the public sector has. And that every single year, that same technology advances 44 plus years in a single year. Phil Schneider said they have technology that doesn't even exist in the sci-fi movies. Phil Schneider said that the bad people have special hyper-advanced computers and that they use airplanes, and said that the bad people have special hyper-advanced computers and that they use airplanes, sorry I repeated this, and that these hypercomputers can see through the walls of every building. These hypercomputers are so advanced they will not be on the market for another 40 or 50 years. He also said that there are many prison cars, and that inside these prison cars are pairs of chains awaiting future human prisoners. He calculated at the time that there are enough chains for 50 million people. Phil Schneider said that the ultimate goal of these aliens is to completely take over the upper world and kill 90 or 95% of the worldwide human population by 2029. Also, if my knowledge is correct, the bad people are planning to reveal something huge by 2027. Their time is running out.